everyone, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new video. Today I'm going to be sharing 3 treat bags that I made with some of Tim Holtz's Halloween products, including some brand new dies from his Sizzix collection. So in today's video, I'll show you how I made all 3 of the treat bags and decorated them to create some very spooky, fun Halloween treats. To get started, I'm going to die cut our Simon Says Stamp gift bag die from the Craft Consortium's Ink Drops Dusk paper collection. These papers are beautiful and there's some really nice dark colors that I thought were perfect for creating some spooky Halloween things. And so I'm going to take that gift bag die and I'm going to die cut the pattern paper from it. Now this is the 12 by 12 paper. Because this die is a little bit larger than a 6 by 6 inch piece of paper, I needed a paper that was going to accommodate the size of the die. However, you can also use regular cardstock or you can also use 6 by 8 pattern paper as well for this. So I'm going to go ahead and fold on all the score lines that are created when you die cut this bag, and I'm also going to take a bone folder and crease those edges just to make sure that I get a really good crisp edge. This will help the shape of your bag hold really nicely. I'm going to fold both bags the exact same way, and then with some red line tape, I'm going to put small strips of this on the 2 side flaps that are created, and these are going to attach to the sides of the bag. And I'll do this for both pieces because you need 2 of these bag pieces to form the full piece. So after lining the 2 edges of that side flap with the tape, then I'm also going to put on the interior of one of the bags, just one, I'm going to put a little bit of tape on the interior. And that's so that way I can glue the 2 bottom pieces together. So I'll remove the release paper from the bottom of my bag first, and I'll attach the 2 bag elements together with this section to start. This will help give me that full shape that I'm looking for, and then I can form the sides of the bags from there. So I'll line this up, press it down really good, and I chose red line tape because it is a super strong adhesive. You could use other types of adhesive, but I really like the security of knowing that this adhesive is going to hold really well. Because this is a treat bag and it's going to be holding some candy, I definitely wanted to make sure that it would be able to withstand the weight. So now I'm just going to take the side flaps and remove the release paper on each side and glue them to the corresponding side of the bag that it's going to attach to. Now there is a handle die that comes with this bag, but I'm not going to actually use it for this. I'm actually going to instead punch holes into my bag with a hole punch, and this is going to allow me to then thread some ribbon or other fun elements through to create the handles. So it's up to you. You could have used the handle die that came with the bag. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm creating, I'm not necessarily thinking through the whole project all at once. I don't necessarily always know what I want to do for a project. And this particular bag was one of those things. I wanted to add some stenciling after the fact, after I assembled this whole bag, and this really fun little stencil set from Tim Holtz looked awesome with the grit paste, the grit glow paste. So I did add that to the bag, and if I had thought about it, I would have done the paste before I assembled the bag, but I didn't. Sometimes that happens. So I made do, and I got the stenciling on the bag. While it's drying, I'm going to go ahead and do some die cutting with some of those new Tim Holtz Sizzix dies. I have this cool spider that is from the Gothic Portraits die set. I did die cut it from some chunky Luxe Glitter cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. They'll look really cool with the spider web. Now the spider web is actually from another die set, also new from Tim Holtz, and that's called the Fright Nights die set. So I'm using 2 different dies here to create my scene. The spider web I thought was really cool and would look great with that spider. So I'm going to put the web over towards the right of the bag, and then the spider is going to get kind of put towards the middle of the whole bag, sitting towards the left of the web. I'm using some foam squares throughout all of these bags today to adhere all of my elements. Foam squares are super handy because they give you that nice dimension, but they're small and they fit behind die cuts really well. And the black ones in particular on behind an element like this spider, I love that it hides and you don't even know it's there. Now I pulled out this greeting from the Gothic Portraits die set, and I'm going to ink blend that orange cardstock with a little bit of Crackling Campfire Distress ink just to add some darkness to the bottom of the greeting. I thought that would add a little bit of depth to it. And then with some foam squares, I'll just go ahead and pop that along the bottom of my bag. Now here I'm going to use some orange ribbon to act as the handles for my bag. And to do this, all you need to do is put a little knot on the end of your ribbon as you run it through your bag. Then you'll go ahead and stick the other end of the ribbon through the other hole, bringing it towards the inside of the bag, and that's where you're going to add another knot. This way it's going to hold that ribbon in place and it's not going to come through those holes. You'll be able to have a secure handle here, which looks super cute. I love the brightness of this. I also love that it has some texture to it, so it adds a completely different look to this bag than if you had used the die cut handle. So completely different way of being able to use this bag, but I think it's really fun and it is secure as well. So the bag's coming together really well. I love those glow in the dark stars. You can kind of see them already kind of glowing in the lighting here, which looks really neat. Now I wanted to add something underneath the spider, so I pulled out one of these plaques from Tim Holtz and I'm coloring it with some Sublime alcohol pearls. This beautiful green color is going to look awesome for Halloween. And then I did add some accents with some gold foundry wax onto this little plaque. Very carefully, I'm going to take my finger and tap some of that gold foundry wax onto the raised areas of that plaque very carefully. And then I'll take my heat tool and just set that to get that beautiful gilded edge. And I did the same thing to my bag. I actually took a little bit more of that foundry wax, rubbed it across the top scallops, and then set it so that I got that really nice gold shine. That looks so pretty. I did it to the front and the back. And now we're going to go ahead and glue our little plaque. So I'm gluing it underneath one of the legs of the spider to look like it's kind of dangling from its leg, and that bright green just pops off of that web so nicely. So that's going to go ahead and finish things off there. But again, like I was saying, I was creating and not really sure where this project was going. And so here I thought of something else. I wanted to add some green splatter to tie in a little bit more of that green on the plaque. So, because I don't want to get green on everything else, I'm using a piece of scratch paper to cover those things that I don't want any of this green splatter on top of, and it's going to go ahead and splatter it on. I think what this is illustrating is how the creative process works. It's funny how when we're making, we have maybe a general idea of what we want to do, but we're really not sure where it's going. And don't be afraid to play. Don't be afraid to try and see what happens. Here I wasn't even sure if I was going to like how this was turning out. And I got a little bit of green on the boo sentiment, and I was like, oh man. But then I was like, you know what? Let's embrace it. Let's add a little bit of green to the other side of the greeting. And you know what? I love it. I love how this looks. I love how I added just some extra texture to that greeting. And the only thing I was really worried about at that point was keeping the green off the spider, because I wanted the spider to stay black, which I managed to do. So I was really happy about that. So these glow in the dark stars look awesome. I just love how that backdrops the spider web with the spider in the middle there. It's a really fun bag. Now, talking about black, let's use some of that Tim Holtz black texture paste. That stuff is really, really creamy. It spreads on so beautifully, and I'm going to use it through this bat stencil from Tim Holtz onto one of my other ink drop bags that I've die cut. And for all of the bags, I assembled them the exact same way that you saw at the beginning of the video. So if you want to go back and watch that again, if you missed anything, just rewind to be able to see how to assemble. But the rest of the bags I assembled the same way. Now I want to show you how I decorated them. So I added that paste to the bag, and I'm going to pull in more of that Luxe Chunky Glitter paper here. I'm going to die cut these bats. This is going to look really cool surrounding one of the sentiments that I have here from the Gothic Portraits die set. Now this bag also has a little bit of a stepped up handle. Instead of using ribbon this time, I used some of the black tinsel, which looks absolutely awesome. I tied it around the bag like I did previously, adding a little knot behind there, trimming it up, and that gave me these super fancy handles. Now here I got smart and I was like, okay, well now think about where I want to add any splatter or spritzing. So here I'm going to add a little bit of the Distress Spritz in walnut stain to my bag. And I'm spraying the whole thing. I'm not literally the whole thing, but front, back, and sides. And I'm just putting it in strategic areas on each of those sides. So that's going to give me some cool texture. And then I did splatter it with a little bit of this fun mica stain in the orange color. I believe it was mulled apple cider. It's a really pretty color. Now here's that Fright greeting from the Gothic Portraits set. I'm die cutting it from two different colors of cardstock. I've got black, and that's going to be the shadow behind my silver piece that's going on top of that. So I'm actually going to line these up slightly off center. So that way the black is sticking out from the side, and so it gives that little bit of a shadow effect, which I think looks really cool. Now, again, I'm using foam squares to help me attach all this down. This is going to get popped up right into the center of my bag very carefully here. I did have a little bit of wet splatter there, so I just wanted to make sure I didn't smudge any of it. And then I'm going to bring in my bats and glue those around that Fright greeting. I think this looks so cool. Those black bats look awesome with that tinsel handle. I just think this is a super glam bag. For a Halloween bag, this is glam. So now we're moving on to bag number 3. And this bag is going to have a little bit more color in it. I decided to go with one of the pattern papers that actually has a little bit of like an orange and blue tone to it. And I'm going to apply some of Tim Holtz's sparkle paste through this Hocus Pocus stencil. I just think this stencil is so much fun. It's one of my absolute favorite Tim Holtz stencils because it's great for all year round. I use it for a lot of different things. Now, when that paste dries, it's actually clear. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of ink in Uncharted Mariner, Rusty Hinge, and also some walnut stain onto this bag, just on the front. And that way I will have a little bit of definition then around the stars. And so then I can buff off any of the ink that's sitting on top, and the color that's underneath, which is the paper, is what's going to show through the stars. And so the stars stand out now a little bit more, which is what I was looking for. But I don't want it to be too standoutish because I'm going to add some ghosts on top of that. So I'm cutting the ghosts from some white glitter cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. And these are from the Fright Nights die set. Same with the moon and the clouds. The moon I die cut from some dandelion cardstock, and then the clouds I cut from soft navy. Trying to pull some of the colors that are in this bag. Now I'm going to glue the clouds and the moon directly to my bag, just using some liquid glue for these. But then the ghosts I'm actually going to pop up. So after I've glued all my little clouds and moon pieces, then I'm going to take some foam squares and put those on the back side of the ghosts and line them up towards the left of the bag. I am going to save room for a sentiment. I'm going to use that same boo that I had used earlier, and I colored it in the exact same way, adding a little bit of orange ink at the bottom. Now I do want the ghost that is underneath it to kind of feel like he's coming out and around the boo. So I'm going to pull some of the little tendrils that are hanging down from his sheet onto the top of my boo sentiment. So that way it layers it up nice. It looks really cool. Now here again, I was deciding after the fact that, oh man, this bag could use some splatter. And I thought I would pull out this purple color. It's really nice Halloween purple. And I'm going to let it overlap with the sentiment and pretty much anything else, but I'm just making sure I don't get any of it on the ghost. Definitely want to maintain the brightness of the ghost standing out on top of this spooky sky. I did use some purple ribbon here to create the handles. I thought that tied the purple together nicely on my bag. And that's going to do it for bag number 3. So all of these bags I have filled with some fun candies ready for handing out this Halloween season. And I think these are such a fun way to be able to use some of these awesome Halloween products from Tim Holtz. I used so many different things, from his newest dies to some of his classic Halloween distress products, and also some Idea-ology items to add some interest to the bags. Then of course we also featured a few stencils from his Stampers Anonymous collection. A lot of fun things that were used here, and of course all of the products that I used were linked below in the video description as well as on the blog, so if you want to find any of them, go check that out for all the details. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you got some inspiration, and I hope you're inspired to create some fun Halloween projects of your own using some of the techniques I've shared. Until next time, friends, I hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks again for stopping by.
I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.